Interested in cement-based adhesive but uncertain how to use it? Do you mix it with water? Do you mix it with an additive? Merlin Mosaica sells a cement-based adhesive that is designed to be mixed purely with water. No expensive additives, no extra mess. Watch here while I show you how it's done. So there's a couple of things you need. There's something to mix into, a mask, gloves, the piping bag, mosaic bag, and a closure, and a spoon and a stirring stick. So I have my mask on. I do apologise if my voice is a little muffled, and I have my gloves. I'm going to use the larger of my two mixing bowls, and I have here my cement-based adhesive. I'm getting down to the bottom of this bag, and I'm just going to put in about 3 spoonfuls, and as you can see it's a lovely white colour, which is much better than grey. And I have been asked how I store it. You should store it in a dry, sealed place. Now these are double bagged, so that should be fine. But you don't go and put it on the floor. Cement products don't tend to take well to being stored on the floor. But for the moment, I'll just put it down here because I am limited in space. So what I'm going to do is just pour a little bit of water in, and then I'm going to make my final adjustments just with a little bottle with a squirty on it. And so I like to mix with a spoon. I just find it easier than a paddle pop stick. But that's just me. So I'm just going to mix that up. And as I said, a lot of people like to have a peanut butter consistency. Well, all I can say is that my peanut butter must be thicker than theirs, because what I consider peanut butter is too thick. So I like to have it a little bit wetter than that. Now, so you just stir till it incorporates. I find this is a pretty easy product, doesn't tend to lump. But I want a nice creamy sort of mix. So I'm just going to, and as you can see it's nice and white. And the slake time on this is only 3 minutes, which is good. That'll just give me enough time. I want to go and get some water in a bucket, because I like to have a bucket beside me on the floor where I can drop this bowl when I've finished with it, and my tools, just to keep them sort of clean and enable me to use them for next time. Now, if I were to be mosaicing, or just wanting to do a small amount, I sell these little bowls too. Now you might think they're very small and they're not very useful. They are incredibly handy, because quite often you might just want a little small job. Now this is getting more to the consistency that I like. It's smooth and creamy, as you can see. Doesn't seem to be many lumps in that. Looks pretty nice actually. And the thing I like about these bowls is there's no internal corners, and I really like that. So I'm just going to leave that to slake, so I'll just go away for a few minutes and come back when that has been done. So it's been about 3 minutes. I've gone and got my bucket of water. So what I'm going to do is just give this a final stir, and I might add too, if you don't put it all in your piping bag, you can put a cover on it, and if you need to replenish your piping bag, just give it a stir before you pop it in. Now these are just brilliant. I'm surprised at how good they are. You could pop them in a cup to support them, to put the mix in, but obviously I'm not. So I'm just going to put all this in. It's just like spooning cream into or icing into a piping bag, really, because that's pretty much what we're doing. And then, as I said, there's no internal corners, so I can clean this out really well. Get it all in there, not wasting any. My Scottish blood comes out, I don't like waste. And that's it. That goes in there. And now the spoon and that pops into my bucket of water. Give it a swish around. And that means that it's much easier to clean out. Now, these little bowls, when I use them for grout, I can crack the grout off, but because the adhesive is more sticky, because it's an adhesive, it tends to not come off quite so easily. So I find just having the bucket of water is helpful. So now, as I said, these mosaic bags, they come in packs of 10, and they have these little fellas, 5 of these, and they're reusable. So they're silicone and they've got a little arrowhead. Just hang on to that, wrap it around, I find a couple of times enough, and then get it, just put the loop over the arrowhead and squish that down, and you've got a nice secure little closing. Get yourself a pair of scissors, and I'm trying to find a sharp pair and I don't think these are them, and anyway, and just cut, that's not too bad, the hole off, and we're good to go. Okay, so now to apply the adhesive, I've got a paper towel. It's much better than me using my apron, which I have been doing. I have my tweezers and my needle-nosed pick and my spudger, my 3 favourite tools of the moment, and just wonderful for this. So the things I want to glue today, I've got the sails, I've got a couple of these little lower spars. I don't know what the technical term is, but you know, hey. And so I'm going to work from the top down. I also have a brush here, just to make sure that there's, you know, nothing underneath where I'm going to be gluing, because I have cleaned this up from yesterday's gluing effort, and I used this wonderful little spudger just to do that and to run along the edge. I just want a nice crisp edge so that when I put the next piece of glass on, it fits where it should. This one is not so critical because, as you can see, it's got a little scalloped edge. So now I am going to do a cement self-leveling cement ground on this piece as well. So from previous experience, I learned that I have to, this glass is a little bit translucent, so I have to make sure, and I didn't want the textured side on the front, I wanted the flatter side on the front. So what I have to do is make sure that I put the adhesive right up to the edge of the glass pieces. So that's the plan. So here we go. So now, one thing I don't have, which I will get in a minute, because I know I have some here, is a glue spreader as well. They can be another very handy little thing. So you'll notice that I've gone around the edge, and you can see how creamy and smooth that is. Now I'm just going to butter this up to the edge. It's easy enough to scrape the adhesive out, but I don't want, like what I had the other day with the little seagull piece, I don't want any bleeding. So I'm just going to, I've probably gone a little bit over the top there. I'm just buttering that right up to the edge, and I'm going to place that like so. Give it a little wiggle. The hardest part for me will be getting these pieces out, but I'm not even going to try and do that until the adhesive has started to go off a little bit and gets a bit drier. So I'm not worried about it at the moment. It's easy enough to get off later. This might be better. So I'm putting a fair bit on, as I said, but I need it to go to the edge because I don't want any bleed from the cement, self-leveling cement ground to happen underneath. So, and I'm not terribly concerned if I get any on the face of the glass either, because it's easy enough to get this stuff off. Now this is a pretty easy little cruisy thing because the hard work was just getting the lines, the cuts straight, and of course that's not the subject of this video, so I just did that beforehand. You didn't want to watch me doing that. Now, if I had fully opaque glass, I wouldn't need to be battering this on as thickly, and I mightn't need the glue spreader. But you just don't know. So this just is not opaque glass, and I'm trying to make sure that those lines are even. They look, yeah, pretty good. And I mean, it's a fairly easy little job, this one, in a lot of ways. So as I said, battering it up to the edge is the critical bit here, just to make sure that I've got good coverage. And then this last piece here, it's just got a curved bottom. And of course when I cut it, the stitching lines that I'm using the grout lines to represent, that obviously makes the glass extend slightly, so I have to just make sure that I don't get them too big because I have limited space and I don't want to be cutting and grinding again. So get that off now, and there you go, she's in. And as I said, I'm not worried about mess on the surface because I can get that off later. Now this one fits there, and then this one fits there, and then we've just got some little tiny pieces to go, and that's this part of this exercise done. Now, I was asked why my tiles seem to come loose. I've noticed with this glue, Cement Based Adhesive, it tends to, you've got to leave it. You don't play with it. Because if you do, the pieces will actually appear to not stick. I've noticed that. So you have to just get it into position and walk away and leave it. And you'll find after a while, it certainly sticks. You mightn't think it's sticking, but believe you me, when she sticks, she sticks. Now, all these little skinny pieces that I put on yesterday, they, I've been able to, probably done that the wrong way. I'll just move it. I've been able to scrape down beside them quite happily, and they aren't going anywhere. There, just let me check that to make sure that's about right. So now I'm just going to wipe my hands because I know I've got goop all over them, and now I'm going into Tinyville, which is a lot more difficult. As you can see, that's a narrow little piece, and I need him to go there. So making sure I've got the right side. Just going to butter him with a bit of glue and stick. Now, okay, he's fallen over, but that's where these wonderful little tweezers come in really handy. There you go. That's him. Now, this one goes, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he goes this way. And then this little piece goes there. And that's that for this little session. This is why I like these tweezers. I can just hang on to them very gently and quite firmly. Put that in there, and you can see that there's goop coming up there. That's my new technical term, goop. But I'm not too concerned, because when it's a bit drier I can get it off very easily. And that one goes, whoops, we put it on the wrong place. And then that's there, and that is that for the new. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to hit the like button below, make a comment and subscribe to my channel.